She signed the divorce papers with hands that trembled, not from fear of losing him, but from the exhaustion that had settled into her bones after years of holding a collapsing life together. The kitchen was quiet except for the hum of the old refrigerator, the same one she had argued to keep when they sold nearly everything else. Afternoon light filtered through the grimy window, illuminating dust in the air, and she wondered how something so ordinary could feel like the final scene of an entire lifetime. Daniel sat across from her, tapping his fingers impatiently against the cheap wooden table. He didn't look at her when he slid the papers forward. "Just sign it, Mara," he said, his voice stripped of warmth. "There's no point dragging this out." Mara stared at his name at the top of the page. Daniel Cole, her husband, or what remained of him on paper. She remembered the way that name once made her smile, how proud she'd felt saying it aloud. Now it felt like a stranger's signature intruding into her life. "There's always a point," she said quietly. Daniel scoffed. "That's the problem. You're still romanticizing this mess. We're broke, we're miserable, I'm stuck, and you keep pretending love fixes everything." She wanted to remind him of the nights she worked double shifts, the mornings she came home smelling of antiseptic and exhaustion. Of the bills she quietly paid, the sacrifices she made without complaint. But she knew better now. He wasn't listening anymore. He hadn't been for a long time. She picked up the pen and signed. The sound of the pen scratching against paper echoed in the room like a final verdict. Daniel grabbed the documents instantly, relief flashing across his face. He stood, already shrugging into his jacket. "My lawyer will handle the rest," he said. "I'll come for my things tonight." "You can take them now," she replied. "I won't stop you." He paused at the door, his hand on the handle. For a brief moment, something like regret crossed his face, but it vanished quickly. "You'll survive," he said. "You always do." Then he was gone. Mara remained seated long after the door shut. She didn't cry. The tears had dried up months ago. What remained was a hollow stillness, like the calm after a storm that had destroyed everything familiar. Her mind drifted back to when it all began. Daniel had been magnetic back then. Ambitious. Driven. He talked about changing the world, about success and legacy. She believed him. She believed in him so fiercely that she ignored every warning sign. When his startup failed, she stayed. When investors sued, she stayed. When friends distanced themselves, she stayed. She told herself that loyalty mattered more than comfort. But failure changed Daniel. It hardened him. He became resentful, bitter, and cruel in small, cutting ways. He criticized her job, her clothes, the way she spoke. Each word chipped away at her confidence until she barely recognized herself. Still, she stayed, until the night she realized he had already left her emotionally. He hadn't come home. No calls, no texts. When he finally returned the next morning, smelling of someone else's perfume, he didn't even bother to lie. "I need more," he said. "This life isn't enough." That was the night something inside her broke. Now, sitting alone in the kitchen, Mara stared at the divorce papers still lying on the table. Her phone buzzed, startling her. Unknown number. She hesitated before answering. "Hello, may I speak with Mara Ellison?" The voice asked, calm and professional. "This is she. My name is Jonathan Reeves. I'm calling regarding the estate of Eleanor Whitmore." Mara's heart skipped. Her grandmother. A woman wrapped in memories and unanswered questions. "She passed away 2 weeks ago," Jonathan continued. "According to her will, you are the sole beneficiary." Mara laughed softly, disbelief lacing her voice. "That's not possible." "It is," he replied gently. "Your grandmother was very intentional." Intentional. The word echoed in her mind. "She left you her entire real estate portfolio," Jonathan said. "Valued at approximately $1.3 billion. The room seemed to tilt. "That has to be a mistake," Mara whispered. "She cut us off years ago." "She never stopped watching," he said. "She believed distance was necessary." "And the timing?" Mara asked, her voice shaking. "She instructed us to contact you only after your divorce was finalized." Mara closed her eyes. The papers. The pen. Daniel's voice. It all collided in her mind. After the call ended, she sat in silence, staring at nothing. The following days passed in a blur. She went to work. She smiled when expected. She didn't tell anyone. It felt unreal, like a fragile dream that would shatter if spoken aloud. The law office confirmed everything. Whitmore properties spanned multiple states, dozens of commercial buildings, hundreds of residential complexes. Her grandmother had been far wealthier than anyone realized. Quiet wealth, invisible power. She wanted to protect you, Jonathan explained, from people who might take advantage. Mara thought of Daniel. She left the office carrying a folder heavier than its contents. That night, Daniel called. She didn't answer. The past had lost its voice. She returned to her small apartment and sat on the edge of the bed. Everything looked the same, but she felt different. Steadier, stronger. She realized then that wealth hadn't changed her. It had revealed her. And while Daniel walked away believing he had escaped failure, Mara stood at the beginning of a life he would never understand. Unaware she'd inherited a $1.3 billion real estate empire, he divorced her at their lowest moment. And the quiet strength he dismissed would soon reshape everything.